Hello, myself Chitra Desai, presenting exploratory data analysis using breast cancer survival data. The source for the data is as shown here. Before moving on to analysis of the breast cancer survival data, a brief note on what is breast cancer. Breast cancer is a disease in which cancer cells form in the tissue of the breast. It may affect 1 in 8 women during their lives. It can be observed both in men and women. When it comes to breast cancer, positive lymph node, tumor size, and metastasis define the stage of cancer. The survival rate is defined as a 5-year survival rate is the percentage of people who are alive 5 years after receiving a diagnosis. Thus, as mentioned earlier, stages in cancer can be commonly identified using the tools like tumor, node, that is lymph nodes, and the metastasis. As the present data made available has lymph node as one of the important parameter available, we will have a brief introduction to what is a lymph node. Breast cancer often spreads first to the axillary lymph node from the breast. Determining whether the lymph node contains cancer is an essential part of cancer diagnostic process. It can be a positive lymph node or it can be a negative lymph node. Positive means it is cancerous. Based on the positive lymph nodes, number of lymph nodes present, lymph node status can be specified. That is, N0 is for where lymph nodes, positive lymph nodes are 0, N1 where lymph nodes are between 1 to 3, N2 where lymph nodes are between 4 to 9, and above 10 it is N3. We can associate the stages of cancer as below. The data information that is obtained after pre-profiling, we observe that number of variables are 4 and there are 3 numeric and 1 Boolean variable. The limitation with the available data is that the data available for study has only the number of positive lymph nodes and the details regarding the size of tumor and metastasis is not available. The observation shows here that there are 306 records. The variable age, that is the field age, has got the data in a range of 30 to 83. The status represents 5-year survival rate and has a Boolean value. 1 represents the patient survived at least 5 years and 2 that the patient did not survive for 5 years or more. The field years of operation is a period from 1958 to 1969. The value positive axillary nodes represent the positive lymph nodes. The average or the mean value in this field is 4.026. It is observed that the maximum value here is 52, now which can be considered as an outlier for the given data set. There are 136 records where the positive axillary node value is 0. Therefore, the problem statement here, analysis of breast cancer survival data for a period from 1958 to 1969 to examine 5-year survival rate in association with positive lymph nodes present. The hypothesis set here is if the number of positive lymph node is high, the 5-year survival rate is low. The histogram for the status shows here that there are around 225 status with 1 and 81 with status 2. That is 74% of the patient has attained 5-year survival rate from the present data set. If we have a look at the year of operation, we find that in the year 1958, there were maximum number of operations, that is 36, whereas in the year 1969, there were the least number of operations, somewhere in between 11 to 12. Also, on obtaining the frequency count for a positive lymph node, it was observed that there are around 136 patients with lymph node 0, positive lymph node 0, and it is observed here that above 10, the frequency count goes on reducing, which is either 3, 2, or 1, which shows that there are hardly any patient who may have the positive lymph nodes crossing the value of 10. Observing the scattered plot, it has been seen here that above 30 there are only 4 points, and this can be treated as outliers, referring to the fact that the number 30 itself is an upper limit in most of the cases representing positive lymph nodes. It is observed that women over the age 70 have positive lymph nodes between 0 and 4 and 5-year survival rate is 71%. It means that even at the very later stage age, that is above 70. If the patient is identified with breast cancer, he can survive. Breast cancer survival data over here represents the number of women in particular age affected by breast cancer. More number of women are prone to breast cancer at the age of 48, 52, 55, 57, and so on, which shows that as soon as they attain menopause, that is the average age of menopause onset in the United States is 51 years old according to the National Institute on Aging. Women in the age group of 34 to 70 are susceptible to the breast cancer. Thus, from the entire data available, it is observed that the 5-year survival rate increases with the least number of positive lymph nodes. That is, with lymph node 0, it is found that the survival rate is 86%, with 1 it is 80, with 2 it is 75, with 3 it is 65, with 4 to in between 4 to 9 it is 61, and above 10 it is observed to be 56. Thus, it is observed that the number of positive lymph node increases, the 5-year survival rate decreases. That is, our null hypothesis is accepted. Women in the age group of 34 to 70 are susceptible for breast cancer. More number of women are identified with breast cancer after menopause. The data is for a period from 1958 to 1969, and it is observed that more operations were performed in 1958. The above observations are based on only node status of the positive lymph node, and that is the limitation as of for cancer patient. Tumor size and metastasis also need to be taken into account. The takeaway from the project was it helped us to understand the fields available in data and find correlation between different parameters. With the help of pre-profiling, it helped to analyze statistical data by focusing more on understanding the nature of data when spending time on coding rather than spending time on coding for obtaining statistical values. It helped in framing the problem statement. It also made us understand that given a problem statement to you, you need to require to research on the domain, that is breast cancer and breast cancer survival, to establish relationship between various parameters. It helped us to understand how to use Python and pandas for exploratory data analysis. Finally, it also helped us to understand that setting and proving of hypothesis is done. Thank you.